is Dr. Power 2, a power supply tester by Thermaltake, and it's been one of my favorite testing devices for years now doing computer repair, as it allows you to temporarily turn on a power supply and check the voltages for your 24-pin, 8-pin CPU, 8-pin PCIe, Molex, and SATA all at the same time. It's a really cool device and I absolutely love it. But its one limitation is it can't do any kind of 12 plus 4-pin connectors. That's where Dr. Power 3 comes in. This was just released by Thermaltake. I first saw it at CES. I was so excited about it. Told them I had to have it the day it was released, and it's here. So let's go ahead and open it up, take a look at it, test it out. So let's go ahead and pull it out. It's a pretty simple device. It should be very similar to what we already can expect from the old one. It's a little bigger than the old one, and I think that's just because up top, it looks nearly identical. Basically, you have both of them still have the 8-pin PCIe, 8-pin CPU. You got Molex and SATA all up top. Along the right side of the device, all blank, just like both of them. You got your 24-pin just like below. The front you have is a little different. The screen looks a little bit bigger on the new model. And your power button is also in the center. On the other side though, this is where things start to get different. First up, you have a power button on the old model, and then on the new one, you have the new 12 plus 4-pin connector for ATX 5.0 power supplies, or the new 5.1 power supplies to be more specific. Anyways, let's go ahead and test these out, see how this thing actually works, and I'll show you exactly why I like it so much. So let me go ahead and grab a power supply and I'll be right back. All right, so I got a power supply. This is an MSI mag model. It's a really nice 1000-watt unit. And what we're gonna first need to start out with is plugging in our 24-pin. This is a requirement for both devices to actually turn on. So we're gonna go ahead and plug that in down at the bottom. This just basically handles all the power for the device on top of the actual testing. So we'll go ahead and plug that in. That's good to go. Now let's go ahead and grab a PCIe cable. We'll go ahead and plug that in. That's gonna be the red connector, just like the old model. So we'll go ahead and pop that in. We'll go ahead and take our CPU connector. This is a 8-pin as well. And then we'll also do SATA. We're not gonna do Molex right now. So we'll go ahead and pop that in up top, slot that in. And just like that, everything's connected except for our 12 plus 4-pin connector, which we can go ahead and plug in, snap it in on that side right there. And this is where it gets cool. So now all I gotta do is basically plug in this power supply, which I can do like so. Flip the switch on the back of it, and I can press the power button, which will actually light this thing up. It'll turn the fan on, the actual power supply as well, and you can actually see some data. So right now we're looking at the 24-pin connector. We can see the voltage for the 12-pin, the 12-volt rail, the 5-volt rail, the 3.3, and we can also see a couple other indicators there. This is actually a much brighter screen than the old model, which I do like. It's a little lighter. There's a little more backlight, which is nice. And let's go ahead and switch. All you do is basically to switch between these is you actually press the button in the center. So we got 24-pin, move to CPU. You'll go ahead and read out the 12-volt rail. Right now we're at 12.1 volts. That's within the spec. We can then click over. This will move us over to PCIe. PCIe is going to check both of them. So we got the 12 volt on the main connector. And then for the 12 plus 4-pin connector, what this is really cool is this actually checks the spec of the cable, and it shows that it can do a full 600 watts. So that allows you to see that. We can check SATA, which shows the 12 volt, I believe. Let me switch back over. So SATA should be 12 volt, 5 volt, and 3.3. It's pretty cool. And it basically gives you some data that gives you an idea of what's going on. So another really cool aspect about testing power supplies with the Dr. Power 3 or Dr. Power 2 for that matter is the fact that you can test a power supply to see if you're actually plugging in the right cables. See, sometimes what can happen is people will have multiple power supplies throughout the lifetime of their computer, or over time maybe they mix things up. And manufacturers, even including good manufacturers like that MSI power supply, don't always label their connectors. The problem is you could accidentally plug it into the wrong power supply, and what this will do is it'll usually cause your power supply not to turn on to begin with. And if it does, and your power supply doesn't send a fault, it could send voltage to the wrong location, thus frying your motherboard, like in the case of this CPU connector. And I've had this happen a number of times, and I've had to repair systems as a result of it. So let me go ahead and show you what this will do if you do test it. This way, maybe you don't know what cables are which. You can go ahead and plug in that 8-pin that's unknown, plug it into your power supply as well, connect your 8-pin up top, plug in your 24-pin down below, Make sure it snaps all the way into place. And there we go. So that's snapped in. Now what we can do is turn on that power supply, press the power button, and immediately we get a failure notice. That is also, it's really loud, so let me go ahead and turn that off real quick. What happened there was basically that the system was under fault. It noticed that basically the voltage was no longer being sent properly through the system of that power supply and prevented it from basically firing up. This would basically, I think this power supply had some protection in place, which is actually nice to see for such a cheap power unit, that where it wasn't turning on. So this power supply wouldn't start up. That type of behavior may be hard to diagnose if you don't know what cables are which. However, something like this makes it really fast to be able to figure that out. It'll also do the exact same behavior if for whatever reason one of your cables was, let's say, damaged or the actual power supply wasn't able to output the proper voltage. I've seen that time and time again with Dr. Power 2, and Dr. Power 3 is basically just a little more advanced version of it. That's kind of my first look of Dr. Power 3. With my experience of Dr. Power 2, I can't wait to be able to test this out for so much longer because this is going to be something that stays with me for quite a while. Dr. Power 2, I have multiple of these, one in my car, one in my tech bag, one in my desk, probably a couple others laying around somewhere. And the reason I use it is just it's really fast to be able to test not only power cables, power supplies, but also a number of other different things, including like damaged connectors. All of the above can be checked with something like this. So I highly recommend it, just like this got basically one of my top recommendations when it comes to tech tools. And that's kind of where I just wanted to share it with you guys, show my first look because I've been waiting on this for quite a while since CES this year. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, make sure you give it a like and subscribe and check out this video here where I just showed off all my favorite tech tools before I actually picked up Dr. Power 3.